Hello everyone. I thought I'd jump on for a few minutes and while I let the kids do their sniffing. And reading, I get the Detroit News, and they had a story in there today about how Detroit more or less has the worst air quality on the planet at the moment because of the wildfires going on in Canada. And this was completely off topic of what I usually talk about. It just left me curious. You're wondering why I'm always looking around. I'm always looking around for other people walking their dogs, because if the wrong dog walks by, my little one, he goes crazy, and then he's gonna get away from how I'm holding him, and then I've got issues. So I gotta pay attention. It's not like I'm, you know, witnessing something else other than I'm just keeping an eye on him. He's the main reason why I really can't keep the direct contact on the camera. But the what struck me as odd is, I've been following this group in Canada that they were part of the Ottawa truck convoy a year and a half ago, and he was there in Ottawa when that protesting was going on in front of their parliament over a lot of the similar. They have some similar issues as we have, and maybe a couple others that are different. But it made me wonder, I've been, and in the course of following his live cast, he, mentions the wildfires and his thoughts on them, and, he's more on the conspiracy side of things, so he kind of, these are being intentionally set, and so on. But it really, it makes you wonder, I've been to Canada. I had a really uncle I was close with who actually was from the Ukraine and immigrated. Oh, my uncle, Steve Kopina, when he left Ukraine, like so many of my other family members, they all came here to the States. He went to Canada, and in the summertime I would go up there, and and I'd spend at least 6 weeks, sometimes a little bit longer. I really enjoyed being up there. And I got to play, that's where I first started playing street hockey and with the local kids, and always had a good time doing that. And with everybody, Canadians, they're huge on hockey, especially back then. But so I'm familiar with I took a train from Windsor to Toronto all the time, every summer to go up there. So you got to see the countryside, and it really leaves you wondering where all these fires are coming. How did they start in the middle of winter? Because their winters are treacherous, and these wildfires that they have right now seem to have started in the heart of their winter, and it just makes you really suspect about the origins of these fires. It's not like they had dry ground and people are throwing cigarette butts out their car window, or a semi trucks parked, during a 10-hour break, and the heat coming out of the DEF system exhaust is starting any fires. None of the normal stuff that would start these, and lightning strikes is kind of unusual for wintertime. It just, none of the natural reasons why wildfires start like they do in Colorado or in California and out west in the southwest or other areas of the country, our country, exist in the middle of winter in Canada. And I'm not suggesting that Mr. Clark is correct with his view of how these wildfires are starting. But really, if anybody has any input on that, I'd sure like to hear it, because it really left me wondering today why Detroit has the poor air quality that it has as a result. And even Chicago's being adversely affected. Chicago was bad to begin with, and now it's far worse because of the whatever it is, it's drifting down from Canada, and it's leaving like residue on people's cars, and it's really odd. It just goes to the chaotic times that we live in. If Mr. Clark is correct in his live cast that this was deliberately set, and then people are smelling. I think they're getting a chlorine smell over in Detroit, involving this haze or smoke or whatever. It's affecting their air quality. It really, typically, like here, I'm out camping, or more or less, RVing, living in an RV, and people have campfires all the time, and you really enjoy the smell. That's part of the perks of this type of environment. My neighbors always have fires just whenever they're here, and the people across the way are always having fires. So the smell of that burn is relaxing, and it's. But to have it go from that to the extreme that Detroit's facing right now, with coatings on their car of some type of filmy substance, and a chlorine smell, and what's all this got to do with a forest fire? What else is burning? And it just, if anybody can answer that question, I'd certainly like to be more informed on it. So far, it hasn't really affected this area here in Red Wing. There were a couple of days last week that we had they were reporting poor air quality because of what was coming in from Canada. And I think today is another one of those days. I'm not having any trouble breathing it, but I don't smell anything. I don't smell any chlorine, and there's no film on my car. I don't know what's going on in Detroit that is raising those kind of issues, but obviously something is. I don't think these people are making this stuff up. They were showing the video, and they were news organizations, of the film, and they're getting their air quality reports from what should be trustable sources, agencies that's their function in life, is to monitor this stuff. I don't know, but it's just chaotic times. There's always something new. Well, this isn't new. This has been going on for so long. You'd think they'd have these fires under control a long time ago, but again, I've never done that type of work for employment, so I can't speak in any way, shape, or form as being knowledgeable on that topic of how long it takes to get fires under control and then finally get them extinguished. I guess that's quite a project by itself. Got a squirrel that's up in this tree that is fascinated with the younger one here. He's always got something to say to him. But I don't know. I thought I'd jump on. I'm still trying to figure out how to get StreamYard to film full screen instead of just that little thumbnail. And I'm still downloading documents from Pacer and other sources that are going to be a part of the website that's being finished. And of course working on the litigation. this litigation has so many tentacles. You know, it very possibly could end up. I could end up being ordered by the court to separate some of these issues into different causes of action because they just for the sake of streamlining that process a little bit more as best they can. For me, it'd be easier to deal with it all in one lump case with all the issues involved. But I don't run the courtroom. That's the judge's role, so they'll have the final say in that. But it's complicated. There's an area of it that even involves dealing with the tobacco issue and the settlements that the states reached with various tobacco companies. And in Michigan's case, Michigan filed suit in the mid-90s, like many other states, and then they settled in 98 or 99, and they've been getting hundreds of millions of dollars a year, all under the pretense of the need to have those funds to offset the costs that they're experiencing with the damages caused by smoking and secondhand smoking. I'm 58. I've been smoking for 35. I've been smoking almost 40 years. And when the state entered into that agreement with, in my case, would have been R.J. Reynolds, because I've always been a Marlboro smoker. I've never changed brands. I started smoking Marlboros Reds when I was in high school, and been on Marlboros ever since. But it's rare exception, But usually when the store doesn't have your brand, you pick up something that you can use to replace it. But the last number I read, the state of Michigan just got their annual check for $320 million from the tobacco settlement. And they sued on the benefit on my behalf. And as I look back at all these years, they've been collecting these hundreds of millions of dollars every year. They haven't spent a dime on my health care that's anything related to smoking. Nor have they provided me any type of anything relating to even real meaningful assistance on kicking this terrible habit. And all I've gotten out of the deal is a toll-free number to call to order this get quit kick. That's a tongue twister. They probably laughed when they put that together. Get quit kit. I don't think I even ever ordered that. It's because what are they going to do? Just send me a brochure, some brochures in a nice little envelope, holding a pamphlet, and that's all I get out of it. These hundreds of billions of dollars you've collected, and then at the same time you've raised the cost of my cigarettes to the point where when I first started smoking, they were 50 cents a pack. Now in Michigan, I think last time I bought them there, they were around $9.50 a pack. Here they're $11.50 a pack. And I've gotten nothing from the settlement. And I don't know any smokers that have either. To me, that looks like you settled under false pretenses. And if it were you or I, a private citizen, and we would do things under a false pretense, well, we suffer some severe consequences, financially and in a lot of cases, loss of freedom. But when state and federal governments do this, it's all okay. And then even when they do wrong, they have so many immunities. You know, they have qualified immunity, and they have legislative immunity. And then the top upper level, they have absolute immunity. They've shielded themselves from being able to go after them in so many different ways. You know, it's turned into a real beast. You know, and we let it get like this. She does do more than just lay around. Show me some of that belly. Let me get some of that belly. Yeah, I see that belly over there. Okay, I'm not talking to you. You go. Yeah, she's finally a little bit more active right now. I'm on live here. But, well, yeah, for some reason, she likes laying on her back, and I guess that's the puppy version of a back scratch. But, oh well. Well, I hope you're all having a blessed day, and those of you who live in Detroit, well, I hope you're breathing okay. And I hope it's nothing more than just some wildfire smoke that's affecting your area. And Detroit's a great city. You know, I had a lot of good times there. So stay safe and have a blessed evening.